What is good, guys? I'm ready to get it back again. How is everybody doing on their end? So, today, guys, I'm back again with another comic review. This definitely is Marvel once again. For everybody who constantly keeps asking, are you going to do DC? Are you going to do that? Like I said before, guys, I pulled back on a lot of my DC books. Most of my DC now, I buy and trade. But coming this November, yeah, you're gonna see more because there are a lot of good that Black Widow. That Black Canary by Tom King. The Black Lightning. The Renee Montoya. The after 18 years, Batgirl is getting her own series again. Cassandra Cain, I'm on board with that. But in the meantime, thank you for enjoying my Marvel reviews. And these are the books I got from Marvel that came out the 7th of August. So we got 6 books to cover. I will do this in alphabetical order, as always. And more importantly, like I said before, one of these books I was so ready to read, but let's kick this off. We're gonna kick this off with the first issue of from the Avengers, from the Ashes, a New Beginning. Avengers number 17 or 783, I believe. Yes. So this is still M.V.K, and this is artwork by Valerino Shikti. If I butchered that name, I apologize. And pretty much, yeah, the cover. That's a beautiful cover. You see Storm on the cover. One of the big things that I basically pondered when the Krakoan era ended for X-Men was like, where were some of the characters? Because once they showed the roster of the core 3 X-Men books, I was like, okay, where's Iceman? Where's this character? Where's all my favorites? And Storm, when they said Storm was joining the Avengers, I was like, okay, she better be joining, and not just for a cup of tea like she did before when Bendis was writing Avengers. Yeah, he wrote her in for like maybe one issue and then she was gone the next. But this is different. So basically, this is the aftermath of what happened in Blood Hunt, which I have not read. I will read it when it comes out in trade in October. But pretty much, Carol is upset. She's pissed. She's saying things like, oh, this shouldn't have happened. Why did this happen? Like, we should have been on top of this, And a lot of the fellow other Avengers, like Black Panther and Wanda, are like, yeah, we saved people, but Carol's more like, a lot of people died. She's going down the list, this, that. Spider-Man now is a vampire. The kid, she's talking about Miles. Doctor Doom now is the Sorcerer Supreme, like all this stuff. And then you got Tony trying to kind of calm her down. And even, I love that interaction with Tony and her basically saying he was like, you feel like you need a drink, don't you? And she's like, yeah, I always feel like I need a drink. And because, I love the callback to, yes, it's not just Tony, but Carol had a drinking problem too. She had a drinking problem back in the day. And I like that callback. I like what's going down with, Wanda and Vision. That was great. It's kind of seeming like their relationship may be going back up. And then of course Sam, he feels that Carol is right, but he wants to do something more. So Sam travels to Atlanta, and who does he meet in Atlanta? Miss Aurora Monroe, Storm. And he talks to Storm about what happened between Orchis and, what happened in the Blood Hunt, and feeling like we should have done more for mutants and things like that. And Storm is kind of retorting and saying like, I understand, but it won't happen again and things like that. But then Sam also goes on to the matter at hand, basically wants Storm to join the Avengers. Now, growing up for me, I always looked at the Avengers as the elite of heroes in the Marvel Universe. They represented every corner of the Marvel Universe. You had aliens, you had synthezoids, you had sorcerers, you had Inhumans, you had mutants, superhumans, metahumans. Doesn't matter. So, and that's kind of the retort of it. Meanwhile, we also see somebody in Gainesville, Florida, pretty much telling this gas attendant, take this to the local newspaper, and we see what happens. That hero is none other than Hyperion. And he basically says that he had a world, that he was the greatest superhero in this world, and it was all fake. And now he's coming to Earth like a bullet to destroy it, to see basically and he's basically telling people, for every residents, say your last goodbyes, because you're gonna die. This is interesting because to me, Hyperion has always been one of those characters they switch him a lot. There are times he's a villain and there's times he's a hero. Then of course there's different variants of this. This Hyperion is the variant that was from Heroes Reborn. So he's still around. So he's a little pissed off. So I can't wait to the next issue of seeing what the Avengers do to stop this guy. And also, will Storm join? We know she joins because she's gonna fight him, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what Storm can do against a Superman-esque like character. But I enjoyed this very much. Good start. Next up, we move on to Saladin Ahmed's Daredevil number 12 or 674. This is continuing what is going on with Matt facing Wilson Fisk, who is possessed by one of the sins of man. I believe, what is he, greed? I believe it's greed that has, and with greed inside, I believe it's greed. With greed inside Wilson, he is just superly powerful and is just beating the crap out of Matt. It's just ridiculous. And even when Matt tries to take out his cross to exorcise the demon from Wilson Fisk, it's no use. And I love how the demon, or greed, I believe, basically tells him like, you've been relying too much on the power of God, and not believing in him so much. And that's when Matt kind of realizes that he has, and it's not just about using the power of God, but also believing and balancing, and it kind of works out in the end. But this was just brutal. There's a part where Matt's just busted up, and it's to the point while blood's just trickling down, he's smiling about it, and Rita's like, why are you smiling? And it's just the weirdest thing. In terms of one of the kids, the children that ran away from home, ran away from the orphanage, he returns back after being kind of held captive by Bullseye, and he goes back and he realizes that someone has followed him back there. I'm not going to spoil who that is, but this was good. I've been really liking Saladin Ahmed's run. I really liked it. Kind of putting the kind of like adding a mixture of like Captain Marvel, which Billy Batson, the seven deadly sins of man and all that. I like that. It was cool. So we move on to Incredible Hulk number 15 or 796. I like keeping the legacy numbers is important as a collector to me. This is Philip Kennedy Johnson, still doing the writing and still telling a really good story of this Hulk and the monsters of Earth trying to capture him. And right now, Hulk is possessed by the spirit of the little girl. I'm forgetting her name. The sidekick that's been with him, and he's trying to save her. That's why he looks the way he does. He looks very kind of demonic. But in the meantime, Bruce Banner has his own methods, and it's not gonna look pretty when he gets there. Now, Hulk actually goes to see this character right here, as you can see here in this cover. She's like the leader, though she looks like a kid. I'm forgetting her name. Let me remember. I don't want to shit a name. I'm trying to remember it. The character's name is the Mother of Horrors. That's who they're trying to resurrect. But the little girl or so, that I think is a girl, is the eldest. That's who his name, the eldest. So to restore Charlie back to flesh, Hulk has to do what he has to do to save her. So, but pretty good, very good indeed. Moving on to number 6 of Spider-Man by Wiseman. This is fun. It's Peter and Miles fighting automatons created by Arcade, and pretty much is all like the mob bosses. So you got Hammerhead, Wilson Fisk, Tombstone, Mr. Negative, even the Black Cat's in this. And I love that, Peter's like, I'm not fighting Black Cat, you fight her. Like, and he's like, and Miles like, what the hell, man? Like, why won't you fight? He's like, it just feels wrong. It's just, even though they're robots, Peter's like, it just feels wrong. And pretty much, and we also see Miles Warren, and I'm like, oh God, the Jackal. Like, I don't like the Jackal, I don't. But it was fun. The first 5 issues, and I apologize for not reviewing the first 5 issues. They were good. But once again, Greg Weisman knows how to write Spider-Man, and both of them just really well. And seeing Peter and Miles work together as a team, chef's kiss. Always good. Good stuff. We move on to Spider-Man, Black Suit and Blood. This is written by a whole slew of writers, including Diamantes, JMS is on here. All the stories were pretty good, but my favorite was probably the last story where Peter is talking to, I guess, talking to the symbiote, like, pretty much, because these are like lost stories. But in there, I believe he's talking to like last remnants of the symbiote that's still part of his, I guess, DNA, and he's basically, and the symbiote is basically telling him like, you need me, you still want me. That's why you wore a fabric version of me and all these things. And Peter just belittles the symbiote, basically saying, you're lonely. That's why you want me back. You're lonely. You. It's not that you need us. It's just that you want to be close to something because you're lonely. And I was just like, ooh, man, he's burning the symbiote. It was just really good. I love that story. The other stories were pretty good too, but that was my favorite. There was another story that dealt with Peter helping a young man who's down on his luck, and instead of going into a world of crime, he kind of gives him a new retort on life and things like that, and that was fun. It's drawn and it's colored in a way that it looks like black and white, but it's the black suit, but mostly all you see is the color red. So that's why they say it's blood, but it's just red. Marvel's been doing this a lot lately, you know, with the Wolverine black, white, and red. Moon Knight's got one. I think a couple of Star Wars characters got one too. Spider-Man's got one too. And it's perfect because it's him with the symbiote. But it was good, nonetheless good. And last but not least, I hope you're watching, my lady, because this is for you. You know who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Uncanny X-Men #1 or 701. The first in a new beginning. Written by the one, the only Gail Simone, my friend. And I am a very big Gail Simone loyalist. I make no qualms about it. I love her very much. I love her writing. I will support anything she writes. Plus, she's got her partner in crime with her, the great David Marquez. Look at that. See how I rolled that R? Marquez. There you go. I love his artwork. I got a lot of books with his artwork. There was a Batman book he did. I forgot the name of it, but there was a big Batman spread of Batman diving down, cape all out. Marquez drew that. It was chef's kiss. But this is the first in the new beginning. So Gail has chosen some fan favorites, X-Men, to be a part of it. Of course, Wolverine, Rogue. I'll get to Rogue. Remy LeBeau, Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner, and Jubilee. But she's not in this issue. Jubilee is not in this issue. So basically, we see Rogue, Gambit, and Wolverine dealing with a giant snake dragon-like character. And he's kind of called the Sky God. It looked very, at first I was like, is that Wahoo? And then I was like, no. But this character has, I'm not going to spoil what it is, even though it's been out for a while, but this character also has an Eye of Agamotto. I'm like, wait, I thought only, and that's even what they were like, wait, I thought Doctor Strange only had that. The way they deal with this creature was cool too. I really like that. But this creature also could see into the realm of the characters. You know, the creature was saying things like, you know, Rogue is still a little lost girl, called Wolverine a hunter, and of course Gambit a thief. But I love how the X-Men deal with it. More importantly, we see some things in there that was very interesting. Gail really draws you in and really makes you feel for the character. Now, everybody who knows me, and you've been following me on this channel a long time, y'all know Rogue is my favorite X-Woman. Not only just my favorite X-Woman, she is my favorite female heroine in comics before everybody else. I love the character. I felt, and more about important because at one point in time, I felt for Rogue. I was like, she can't touch you, but now Rogue can control her powers. You know, she can control that now. But Rogue really is desperate to find a balance in still following the dream of Xavier. You know, she contemplates a lot. I love that there's a scene where they're back in New Orleans and they're all around a campfire and they're talking, and Rogue is just like, you know, are we even called the X-Men now? You know, are we even this? Are we even that? You know, she talks about how she called Kitty, and Kitty she don't want nothing to do with the X-Men. I'm like, that's not Kitty. Like, she's like, well, maybe we should just go back up to Alaska to be with Scott. And Wolverine's like, hell no. He's like, no, don't go up there. He's like, no. whatever they're doing up there, they're not really following that. And this all came after they went to like St. Jude's Hospital, I believe, and a little boy wanted to meet the X-Men, and he got to meet Rogue, Wolverine, Gambit, and Nightcrawler. The boy, I believe the little boy was a mutant. He had low-level telepathy and telepathic. He's kind of like a low-level version of Charles Xavier, as he said. We also get to see who now owns the X-Mansion, and it's basically being turned into a prison, which sucks. You know, just talking about get rid of all the memorabilia and burn it. I'm like, fuck you, like, you know. But this was just so good because not just because it's Gale, but you know what you're getting with Gale. Like, she's gonna rip your heart out with these characters. She knows how to get deep with characters, and I believe this is the first time that she's written Rogue. She did so good. Not the first time she's written Wolverine. She did one issue of Wolverine and Savage Wolverine, but it is really good to see her back with Marvel, and she did a great job with this first issue. This was so good. This was out of all the core X, I'm gonna read all the X books, but this was the one I was looking forward to the most, because soon as I saw Gale was a part of this, I was like, take my money. And I was glad, and I'm glad she did. I'm glad they did. The only issue I have, Gale, and I have to talk with you personally on this, is the team dynamic. They're only 5. Most people know that I don't like odd number teams. I love even number teams, and this team feels, Gale, like you could add one more character on there. I wish there was another character. I'm not saying maybe there is, maybe another character's coming, but yes, I wish there was another. But outside of that, this was great. And the ending even got even crazier too. But this was good. So far, out of all the X books that I've read, from the Ashes arc so far, this is up here. Definitely up here. I loved Phoenix. I can't read the next issue of Phoenix. I enjoyed X-Force. I enjoyed X-Men. I'm looking forward to reading the Sectional X-Men, Wolverine's book, and I said I was gonna get Dazzler's book in trade. And I do have X Factor, so I will read that out. But this was Chef's Kiss. Gale, thank you. That was good. This was good. Well, guys, there you go. Those are the books from Marvel that I picked up for August 7th, 2024. Next time you see me on a Marvel review, we will do the Marvel books that I got for August 14th. But outside of that, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you pick up some of these books. Feel free to ask me any questions about them or anything like that. But outside of that, y'all take care. This is Mount Vernon Kid, your alpha, my pack. I bid you adieu. Deuces.